by the House kasi doon na diretso na sa plenary. This case, itong complaint ay pupunta pa yan sa Justice. And I believe nag-agree ata yung mga complainants that they will have a reconciled, hindi ba sila nag-agree? The last time I heard. Hindi rin sila. Okay, so there's no consolidation. That's why. Okay, so yun, so papasan ng committee. So ganun na kung titingnan natin, ibabangga natin sa timeline natin ngayon. We only have 3 days before we declare break, no? But anyway, kung pag-uusapan naman yan sa Justice Committee, tapos if that complaints will be endorsed to the plenary, then sabi nga ni Kong Rog, sino ba naman tayo para hindi umattend ng impeachment complaint? But ito po yung reality sa pag-usapan po natin. I think this is the elephant in the room. It's not just a matter of impeaching a certain official. It's also assuring a conviction in the Senate. That's a different thing. So I think kailangan din natin makita yon. The Senate also most of them will be focused campaigning, no, in the coming days. So that would also be a challenge for the impeachment court to be able to deliver according to the constitutional mandate. Kasi nga, considering that it's already Feb, no? Malapit na tayo, and most of them are also busy campaigning. So we cannot compromise the merits of the complaint simply because of the inavailability of a senator judge. So kailangan din natin makonsider yon. So I think the issue on conviction is of the challenge really, no? Yan talaga pinaka number 1 na challenge.
Having said that, are you saying that deadline yung impeachment?
No, I'm not saying that. I'm not saying anything can possibly happen. But I'm talking about in reality because of the time frame that we are facing now. Malapit na pong election. So, sabi ko nga, magiging busy rin yan. So, of course, yung mga nagko-complain yan, they also want to see a possible conviction. Diba? Kasi kaya ka man nag-complain kasi gusto mo yung result na magiging hinain mo na complaint ay kumbaga kung ano yung ine-expect mo na result, no? Kung if that's what they're intending to see, then I guess they have to rethink again because the time frame is that the Senate will be also moving into campaign mode, most of the senators.
Parang ang sentiment ba, cold ba yung mga calls?
Hindi naman kasi sabi nga ni Kong Ernix, may individual position naman kami. May sarili-sarili naman kaming appreciation sa mga complaint. Although we haven't seen the complaints yet, kasi hindi pa naman din napag-usapan sa komite, pero may sarili-sarili din kaming position regarding that.
Just add lang po on that point by Vivian in specifically about yung practicality. Just our comments, I think, what Kong Zi was saying and I was saying, that it's the practicality aspect that we're talking about that it would be difficult to pursue given how hard it is to gather the numbers given this election season. But personally, I think the appreciation of impeachment is that it's a constitutional process, so this would not be limited by the legislative calendar. So just because we adjourn, for example, for recess, that does not preclude the ongoing process of impeachment as a constitutional process po. No? So that's just to be clear. Iba yung possibility from the practicality aspect po.
Pwede po follow up sa budget. So regarding po dun sa sinabi niya kasi kanina, the other day po si Kong Stella admitted that there were indeed gaps po dun sa Cabinet Conference Committee report na ni-ratify po ninyo sa plenary. So sinabi po ni Kong Bebot Alvarez na itong admission niya na may pag-amin daw po na nagkaroon ng falsification of legislative documents. As per Kong Bebot Alvarez, sinabi niya na inutusan yung mga staff na punan yung mga blanco kahit natapos na yung ratification. In other words, yung mga halagang in-insert nila dyan ay hindi approved ng plenary, kaya hindi authorized ng Congress. So sa madaling salita, walang authority yung paglalagay ng amounts and figures. Kung Roger, kung comment pa lang. Meron daw kung pag-amin. As lawyers, may pag-amin daw po ng crime. So may pag-amin daw ng krimen dito, which is nga yung under the revised penal code of Article 170 falsification of legislative documents.
Makinig kami, ha?
Kwentuhan pala. Okay, first, kapihan pala. Kapihan. Just to clarify, I have yet to read yung allegations po. No? I'm not too sure. I'm just gonna base it off what you've relayed to us now. But I'm not sure that that would be falsification po, no? Because the admission was just that, allegedly, the admission is that there were blanks. But there was no admission to having changed a document. I don't know where that angle is coming from po, no? But just going back po to the issue of the blanks ng budget, I think what was been clear from the stand of both the Senate and the House, as far as I understand, is that this was still within the process po, no? So, what they're saying now is that there are blanks, but then, sorry, can we repeat that? Ano po yung stand?
Kung Bebot Alvarez, ang malamang na nangyari, yung mga congressmen, inutusan daw, yung mga staff, sila na mismo, pinunan nila yung blanco kahit natapos na yung ratification. In other words, yung mga halagang in-insert nila dyan ay hindi approved ng plenary, kaya hindi authorized ng Congress. So, sa madaling salita, walang authority yung paglagay ng mga amounts and figures. Prevent talaga yung ginawa.
Okay, just to clear yung admission po, no? Kasi I don't know if I understand it right, but you said malamang po, no? So it's still an allegation. I don't think there was an admission of any staff doing any changes. But with the admission, with the allegation of the crime aside po, no? Okay, going back now to the budget, it's still there. It still goes back to when we have in Congress, for example, in the committee, I don't know if people follow that, but when we pass a certain bill, sometimes it's not perfect. We pass it subject to style. So they do give that authority to change it, typographical errors, fill in the blanks. So yun po yung I think where it's coming from. Now to say that that would be a crime, I think that would be a stretch. But of course, we still have to see the allegations itself. I guess that's our only comment for now po.
Kung see about the bar naman po, can you give a comment on that?
What about the BARM? Yung
Yung alleged, yung mga, yeah, about the
Oh yeah, yung yung sa LGSF kasi yung sa social assistance kasi ng LGSF, actually it's the subject matter of my privilege speech the other day. We're not we're not questioning naman the intent on helping our communities, no. But the process by which these funds are being utilized should be faithfully compliant with the guideline. Unfortunately, dun po sa mga natanggap po nating mga reports from the ground ay medyo questionable yung guidelines kasi it was downloaded to them directly to their accounts. Minsan kasi hindi natin maiiwasan na yung mga allegations of partisanship kasi minsan kasi papasok na rin yung election and until such time that the House and the Senate would approve yung resetting of the BARM election, the election will continue in the absence of the law. So, may magpa-participate din yung dominant party ngayon ng BARM in the 2025 election. So, ang ginagawa, the downloading of these funds are directly to the accounts of LCEs, LGUs na kakampi. Yung hindi kakampi ay hindi nakakatanggap. Plus, yung allegation na sinasabi nila is for special operations, yung nada-download nila to the barangay level, ang minsan sinasabi you have to return back a certain amount, 200,000 lang yung mariretain kasi it's for special operations. So all of these are really it's if it's true, then all of these allegations are really troubling kasi we're talking of 6 billion pesos that are to be used for the local government support fund. Kinopya naman nila ito sa LGSF ng national, but ang sa national kasi according to the DBM, meron talagang guidelines yan on how to utilize that. Unang-una, kung maglalagay po kayo ng pondo dyan, dapat meron na convene na yung Bids and Awards Committee. In the barangay level, ang officers naman dyan, treasurer, barangay captain, etc. So, paano sila makakabuo? How will you empower them to create their own Bids and Awards Committee? Yun ang unang dapat na gagawin. Pangalawa, there has to be a request from the LGU on what specific programs and projects would they like to avail of. Hindi yung dire-diretso mo siyang i-avail without even a prior request from that LGU. That's why nagulat po ang ating mga barangay captains and even some of our mayors na bakit napondohan agad-agad ang kanilang mga accounts. At sinasabi daw, accordingly, ang allegation is that may babalik sila na certain portion sa regional government kasi nga for special operations. So all of this until and unless answered by the BARM government ay talagang it will remain to be a very troubling allegation.
po. Si Speaker Martin Romualdez, pinuno po na niya last night yung mga labor leaders and he wants to push for the passage of bill 200 pesos daily minimum wage hike. For Kong Gordon's one gave the vice chair po ng MSME Committee na ito. Sir, di ba last year, pinutulan kasi ito ng ilang mga grupo, lalo na 90% daw po mga establishments ay MSMEs and merong concerns na na-raise po na baka hindi po masusustain itong wage hike na to, lalo na nung last year, 100 pesos sa Senate, yung sinasa, us sa House, gusto ko 200 pesos. What are your thoughts on this? Kasi sabi nga, kapag hindi daw po, we wouldn't be able to sustain this wage hike and therefore may danger ng pagsasara po ng mas marami pang mga establishmento and might cause further unemployment.
Those concerns are valid. Kaya nga, siguro, we need to study this further. Pero personally, I trust in the judgment of the speaker. So, I'm leaning more into going. Mas okay ako dun sa ni speaker. Yung suggestion niya na 200 pesos hike. Because across the board, kung ganun talaga ang tingin niya na mas makakabuti sa bansa natin, then malamang may reason yun, may magandang reason yun. And then, I'm not saying na yes na ako agad dyan kasi hindi pa natin naririnig yung mga discussions eh. Of course, we have to base our decisions on vibrant discussions. And until then, for now, wala pa akong decision dyan.
Pero kasi sir, last year, yung 100 pesos pangalan po ng Senado, umaaray na po yung mga employers association. How much more than 200 pesos po yung gusto nyo ay nakapon?
Hindi pa natin na-discuss eh. Baka may mga conditions yan. Baka may mga hindi across the board or whatever. So marami pang mga details na we need to discuss bago tayo makakagawa ng tamang decision.
Wala pang pinaparating sa inyo sir yung grupo ng mga MSM.
Wala rin eh. So until then, I think it would be unwise to voice out opinions based on no facts or no details.
Thank you sir. Kayo po, anyone? Dun sa 200 pesos na wage hike.
200 wage hike.
Ikaw, gusto mo?
Ako, quickly, if I'm not mistaken, magkakaroon kami ng committee. I-discuss sa committee level to eh. I think, yeah. So, yung important talaga yung committee level, maririnig natin yung mga opinions like what you're saying, na yung umaaray, kung aaray yung mga employers, na we really have to listen both sides. Reality kasi, yung intention ng House na i-increase yung wage hike for 200 pesos, sa totoo lang talagang day-to-day ang sweldo ng tao eh. Gipit talaga eh. But kailangan natin timbangin nga, like what you're saying, yung aaray yung mga employers. But, there might be some concessions na we could arrive at after magawa natin yung committee hearings. Kasi doon i-thresh out lahat eh. Baka may concessions, may mga, mag-a-agree din tong mga employers. Only such time na matapos natin yung committee hearing, marinig natin lahat, we can make a good judgment on things. Guys, do you agree?
Yes.
Well, ako idadagdag ko lang, this is actually economic relief based on yung data, no? Yung socio-economic data, yung index na nakukuha natin from the Poverty Commission. Kasi medyo tumataas, alam naman natin, tumataas yung inflation. No? Yung mga basic goods nga medyo tumaas na rin. So it's not really about punishing yung mga employers, but this is actually to strike a balancing act on how we can maintain this negosyo. At the same time, hindi naman masyado din mahirapan sa kanilang gastusin yung kanilang mga empleyado. So tama nga yung sinabi ng aking mga kasamaan, we still want to maintain a balance between the interest of the workers, at the same time the interest also of sustaining these micro small businesses. Hindi rin natin ma-discount yung magiging impact nito doon sa operation, yung mga maliliit na mga negosyante at maliliit na mga negosyo. Of course, kinukonsider naman din natin sa kanila kasi they are also contribute to the driving force of our local economy. So let's see kung ano po yung magiging discussion doon. But ako, a favor ako naman talaga doon sa economic relief on whatever package that may be.
Personally, I would prefer to, as a general rule, I would prefer to leave it to the regional tripartite board because generally they would be in the best position to know what kind of wages would be needed. But understandably, these are extraneous circumstances. These are special circumstances. We're facing record inflation and there are a lot of external factors to consider now. And quite plainly, when you look around, umaaray nga po ang tao. So I think the Congress would be of the mind to support after a long time. I think the last time was a long time ago, 89. So a legislated wage increase might be called for. But yun, we have to approach it with abundant caution because not all parties stand to benefit. I understand there was also the statement that there would be exceptions naman. So these are the things that we really have to go through. And I think generally this would be a good move. But yun, we just have to pay attention to these red flags that we have to skirt around. But we trust that in the committee we'll be able to go through the details and hopefully we'll come up with meaningful legislation that would affect our fellow kababayans. Yun lang po siguro.
Yung tulad nung sinabi ni Kong Rog, itong pag sinabi naman kasing yung 200 pesos na wage hike, syempre maganda yan and kailangan tayo maging malinaw na pag pinag-usapan yan, may mga exemptions nga yan. I remember dun sa 100 peso wage hike, exempted ang mga companies na may 10 employees and below. Exempted din ang mga companies na ang capital is 3 million pesos and below. So, hindi naman necessarily, although marami pa rin masasaktan, pero yung mga inaalala nating napakaliliit na mga negosyo, hindi naman sila masasakop ng mga ganitong batas. Siyempre, inaalala din natin sila. So, hindi naman yun basta-basta na pag sinabing 200 pesos na wage increase ay kasama sila. Naiintindihan ng Kongreso yung mga hinaing nila. Kaya, I remember kasi dun sa 100 may mga exemptions. What more ngayon sa 200 pesos? Yun lang. Oo. So, yun dati, sa 3 million pesos na capital and below, hindi sila kasama. Pati yung 10 employees and below.
Millions of people invest in stocks and commodities. Thousands make a living at it. And
10 employees and below, hindi rin sila kasama.
I think this wage hike was this was already done in the 1980s.
Yeah, no 1989.
And then, pwede natin siyang i-study yung anong nangyari after that. If there was massive inflation or damage to the economy. And if it was successful, then maybe we can replicate it today, but through an improved version. Kasi tingin ko, yung mga pag may wage hike kasi, ibig sabihin, dumadami yung pera na nakacirculate sa economy. Pag ganun, kasi especially us na parang consumption economy tayo dito sa Philippines, so may economic activity which means more businesses. So iba, parang more business for enterprises. So parang kikilos pa rin yung economy natin eh. We have to open our minds first, hindi naman yung puro negative tayo agad without studying the entire measure first. So I'm sure we can come up with something that would work for both the MSMEs and our workers.
Kung i-follow ko na lang din, speaking of kapakanan ng mga magagawa, kay Kong Roach, yung motorcycle for hire bill, pending pa rin sa Senate, tapos mag-expire na yung slot. Anong nakikita natin dapat gawin dito? And another lang, follow-up lang din kay Kong Norton. Kahapon parang yung mga personal po nung isinusunod, kahapon may hearing din yung sa elect na issue sa Barangay Carmen sa Cagayan de Oro. Wala mo nakikita.
Personally, there's no other recourse pero dapat ipasa. I hope we've had time and time again urged our counterparts